Serafina and I were at a entrepreneurial book club where Stephanie never read the right book. And
Stephanie was terrible at this book club.
I really sucked at book club.
I did
Fabulous. What?
I just had a visual. I just had a visual.
I was proud of it. Right. And we're here and we're live. And I've got Dina Ben David on with me. What is your official title? Are you Dr. Dina?
I'm okay. This is professional or personal? Because my husband has a lot to say about that too.
How would you prefer me to refer to you as we're talking about your clinical self?
We will keep that for another show. How about that?
Okay, perfect.
So professionally, I am a psychiatric, double board certified nurse practitioner, psychiatric mental health and family of 15 years. Have a doctor of nursing degree that I specialized in mental health, especially as it pertains to perinatal and postpartum women. And let's see what else. Lots of certifications. I know there was some talk in the Facebook, the sandwich scoop.
We will get to all of this conversation this morning.
So there was just some talk in that, just kind of like about credentialing, which I think is super duper important.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have like tons of certifications, and I say we because it's not just me. I have an amazing team of women that I'm collaborating with to make this happen. So certifications and trainings and fellowships and everything from functional psych, EMDR, trauma healing, somatic experiencing.
I think she's a professional.
Ketamine assisted psychotherapy, like all the things, and it's pretty awesome.
So yeah, get your mental health questions ready, and like
Dina.
let's sit and chat with Miss Dina over here. So you have a new practice that literally just opened. Yeah. Put your face up to that microphone and like, let's get to know you just a little bit, because I think it's so important, the area in which you're working in right now. We can all agree that our healthcare system is a broken girl and people are not getting the things that they need when they need them. And I am so excited that you are offering an opportunity for people to heal themselves in ways that they might not know that they have the ability to do so.
And you know what, Stephanie, I want to just preface everything by saying I love what you just said. It was absolutely beautiful, because people a lot of times refer to you as like a healer, right?
Yeah.
Doing the work that I do. And I'm not a healer. No. You know, I am helping you find the light within yourself and help you heal yourself, because we all have that innate capacity to do so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, traditional models of medicine and just the
we go to the doctor fixes us, we go about our day.
Exactly.
And that's really not how getting well works.
No. And we all have this in us.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of really pushed down there. So my job and what I do is to kind of really dig really deep and help you kind of find that light within yourself so you can heal yourself.
Yeah. Everyone who has ever had a surgery knows if you don't go to PT or do the things that you're supposed to do, like all of the work is actually yourself. And I think people forget that all of the time.
Yeah.
You just have someone to guide you to the things you're supposed to do.
100%.
My husband is 100% a rule follower, and I'm the one going, but why? But why? So we're here learning why with Dina today. So you've got the new practice. It's the Still Center. If you're looking for them on social media, your website is beautiful. I was just kind of poking around a little bit at all of the things you do, thestillcenter.org, if you're looking for it. And give her a follow and a warm welcome to Sandwich. It's so hard starting something new. So let's talk about what you were doing prior to opening this center, because I love a good origin story, but it's one where you saw there was a problem and you decided to shift to that problem.
Yeah. So we actually moved to the mainland from Martha's Vineyard. I was there for 20 years. We moved last year. And I have a practice there that is a medical spa and a wellness center and all that kind of stuff. And for 15 years, I poured my heart, soul, like everything into this practice. And those that know me know I literally did that.
Well, and it was a well-to-do med spa that was on the vineyard.
Yeah. And today's actually the last day it's open. Yeah, I know. It's so bittersweet, but also like so wonderful because
Good morning, Dan, Leah. Thanks for joining us on the show. And if anybody has questions, please drop them in the chat for Dina. So you've got this fabulous med spa. You're closing it.
Yeah.
How was that shift also from island life?
Oh my God, there's so much to talk about.
Right?
Yeah. So I think it's like, I think it's like Cape Cod life, but like on steroids.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
way steroids.
No
like,
escape.
No, and yeah. And like my husband, God bless him, he is a native Islander.
Okay.
He's like 5 generations in, like very ingratiated into just like
I know.
the
I married a
whole-
Falmouth Townie. I'm 1 mile from the border. I'm still here. It's like,
Just kidding. So much love for
where
you
we
guys.
stay. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But it's really difficult.
It's a blessing and a
cool.
curse.
100%. Yeah, for sure. So it took quite a while. I've been with him for 20 years, the whole time I was on the vineyard, basically. And it literally took me that entire time to convince him to move.
Yeah.
But here we are. And, everything is amazing. And divine timing. I mean, it was not meant to happen until it happened. So I'm totally cool with that. But yeah, it was, people are so, even now that they know kind of what I've been getting into, because I kind of kept it a little hush because I'm like in a complete flow state and I was just kind of doing the work and doing the things and people are like, how, but like, why, like how, like you were like on top of this whole like industry and I was teaching around the world and like doing all kinds of stuff and I was on TV and like all these things in the medical aesthetic space.
Yeah.
Which I loved in it, just to be able to share like your passion with the world is so
exciting,
humbling,
right?
I mean, you do this all the time.
Yeah,
like you
fun.
get it, but it doesn't like it. There was just like this like innate, like, no, Dina, like something was just telling me I have to move in a different direction.
Yeah.
And if you had told me like even a couple of years ago what I was going to do, I literally would have said you were batshit. I'm like, there would be no way. Like
I'm not closing a successful thing.
Yeah. Why would I do this? And then I just like really prayed and meditated and did all the things.
I feel like 20 years is always that shift, right? That restlessness. I was in my last career for 25 and right around 20, I was restless. Like I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing the things that I need to be doing. I'm not actually connecting with what I need to do.
Yeah.
It was just very surface.
There's like the stirring in your soul, right?
You need to do like real impactful work. I don't know if there's a shift in your age or your body or your makeup. I don't know what it is, but I do understand that calling, that need to do something more than what you're doing. And also it's boredom.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing this for so long. I am bored.
Absolutely.
I've heard it all. I've done it all. I need to do more.
Yeah. So you totally get it. And it's like the weirdest space to be in because at least for me, like I had no idea like why or how.
Yeah.
I never necessarily
Because we don't talk about it as women or just as anyone in general.
That's
we just
a whole
do the
nother
thing.
conversation.
Yeah, right? We just don't talk about it. We're just like, we're fine. Left, right. We'll get through this day.
Exactly.
Good morning, Miss Kathy.
Put our head in the sand and just like keep working
Yeah.
and doing all the things we need to do as moms and wives and everything.
Yeah,
that
because
we
you're
do.
all of those things also.
Yeah. 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 But I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to follow like whatever the universe, whatever direction the universe is pulling me. And anytime I get these like little downloads, these intuitive knowings, I just listen to it, even if it didn't make sense.
So she leaves the island. She finds herself a space in Plymouth, opens up a new practice, literally just opened on Wednesday in Merchant Square in Sandwich. And what did you need to have in this space?
So when I went back to, I knew I needed to go back to school for psychiatry. So that's what I did. Got my degree in psychiatry. But it was right towards like the end of my education and my degree that I was like, I couldn't even study for my boards, to be totally honest with you, because the information was so not aligned with like what I knew I needed to do. Like just giving everybody, spending 5 minutes with a patient saying, okay, this is your label. This is your diagnosis. This is your med. Here's your script. There you go. I'll see you in a few weeks or a few months or whatever.
Yeah.
That was not what I knew I needed to do. But they don't train you how to do anything else.
Right.
Because that's the Western model of care.
Correct.
Is just like identifying symptoms, labeling a diagnosis, giving meds, moving right along in a very short period of time.
You're not the first person I've spoken to. In fact, we've moved to a concierge model for our general practitioner because I just need to see the doctor when I need to see the doctor and I need certain things from them when I need them.
Exactly.
And I'm worth paying for it. Yeah, exactly.
And
I don't feel rushed. And they call me. I'm like, hey, I've got this problem. And then they have time for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm paying for it, but I'm okay with that.
For sure. So, and to that point, and we'll get back to your other question, but it's kind of triggering. No. And this is like our ADHD brains are just like all over the place right now. That's great. But just to kind of toggle on what you just said, and this also is kind of circling back to a comment that was made in that Facebook group yesterday as well, is that the providers, and I really want to emphasize this because it's truly not the providers that are failing us.
Right.
Because they don't know what they don't know. And I can speak to that having all the degrees that I have and everything. Like they just don't know all of this extra stuff. They don't know root cause medicine. They don't know functional integrative medicine, psychiatry. Like they literally do not know. So it's not the providers failing you. It's the system that's failing you. So I just like to take a moment to honor that because I think it's really important. I don't want to point fingers at anybody, but it's just like the awareness of that. So it's like, okay, I'm not getting my answers here and I'm not, getting healed here. Let's look in a different direction. And hopefully my hope is other providers start to see what we're doing and start following suit.
Yeah. I know my family specifically has dealt with a lot of issues with getting the services that we need when we need them from who we need them. And there's always barriers. And it's so frustrating as a mom, as a person that is just like, we need to fix this. And you can't because you don't have any of those tools. Nothing's functioning the way. I totally understand frustration. And I know a lot of people are in that space. So you've kind of taken it upon yourself to build this practice.
Yeah.
To service that.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And it's brand new. So yes, of course, we start having a snag on Facebook because people are questioning the validity to what it is that you're doing. Can we just fast forward to that moment a little bit? Frustrating.
I mean, yeah, but there's always going to be those that are,
are you a snake oil salesman in my town?
Yeah. And that are questioning something that's new and different. And I respect that like completely. Like the smartest people in the world question, right? Like that because you want to get the information you want to learn. Yeah. But open your mind and open your heart and just know that like the world is struggling right now. So many people are hurting. We're watching our kids suffer now more than ever.
Yeah.
It is time for us to look in a different direction and no longer look at the current systems that have failed us. No longer just understand that, you know what, I'm going to go to a regular practitioner or a regular psychiatrist and get my daughter on a bunch of these meds because she's dealing with these emotional issues. Like, no, like let's actually dig deeper.
Yeah.
Let's figure out what's going on so she can live her best life.
Was there a catalyst for you that finally was like, this is the change, like after school, after this? Because, you go to school and you're like, obviously this wasn't, or was it a fully formed, I'm going to open up a practice in Sandwich decision?
No, not at all.
Right?
Not at all. And no, not at all. And in fact, I think if it were, my husband probably wouldn't have been so supportive because he's been through like so many seasons of me, like with different businesses and this and that. And
I like
thing,
that.
like,
Seasons of me.
Yeah. Shout out. Love
It's
you.
good.
But, yeah, no, it was just like, I knew like, okay, I need to look in a different direction. That's when I started doing all these extra trainings, certifications, and learning all the things that I was just mentioning are not discussed and taught in school.
Yeah.
So hence going back to what I was saying is like these other, traditional Western doctors and nurses and providers, they just don't know what they don't know because it's not taught to them, which, I mean, this is a very deep rabbit hole we can go down, but I'm just going to say, who's funding these studies that are being done that are a body of medical evidence and how
that is like your Google,
that
your
is how
dictionary,
we
that's
have
your
to
Bible.
practice, right?
Yeah.
Who is the one supporting that with the deep pockets of big pharma?
Yeah, that's kind of terrifying.
It is very terrifying. The medical schools, who is funding them? Big pharma. So there's just to give people perspective as to like why these things aren't taught. The system is designed to not truly heal. The system is designed to keep us sick because then we'll need to keep on medication.
I had a great conversation at a women's group, and one of which was a doctor, and one of which was a chiropractor, also a doctor.
Yeah. Yes.
I was like,
it's a whole
I
other
know
thing.
that's a whole other thing, but it was we had this exact conversation. So at least it's being talked about. At least people are shifting the way that they're practicing in their own life and how they're getting to it. But the problem is having that conversation with us, the regular Joe Schmo that has insurance and thinks everything should be covered because we spend so much money for our insurance that should be covered. And we have to start shifting our mind of that is in a catastrophic incident where we need to be hospitalized. And that's pretty much the only reason why you should be using that insurance for our healthcare. And it's unfortunate that it's so friggin' expensive to be healthy.
It's awful. And I do want to say too, just to honor, the traditional Western model, there, like you just said, there are times we need that.
Right.
Like, so I'm never saying don't go to your regular, like I am not saying that.
Yeah, you need all of that too.
You do need that also. But when you're looking for, like what I do, like deep dive into healing and figuring out what is the core root of these emotional symptoms, these mental health issues that I've been having, like, or some other, physical things as well. Let's look down a functional route, because a lot of times people aren't getting their answers.
This is the whole reason why I started the Mashpee Farmers Market. It was like the food system and like, okay, so this one needs to eat for this. Well, we don't have that. Why don't we have local food? Because we don't have farms. Why do we not? How do I get them? How do I get all this? Your son's an Aggie.
Yeah. Yes.
How cool is that?
Yes, he is.
I reached out to the Aggies. There's a bunch of them on the Cape, and it is a tight-knit group even after you graduate, of a place to go to get information, to get support, to have that conversation. And we've reached out a couple of times, which is how I got a couple of extra farms that have been servicing for us at the Mashpee Farmers Market. But we need to start paying more attention to all of this from the root up, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. Yes.
It's true though.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you very much for bringing me my delicious granola bar, and shout out to our friends over at Press Ahead Coffee. Good,
Thanks, Jim.
helpful things that I just start questioning that we have to start feeding ourselves better. I feel like that's a number one thing. Where we start before our mental health, before we dig into all of the problems and the intricacies and the traumas and all of the other things. It's just a fully broken system, and I could sit here all day and talk about all the fixes that we need to do.
That would be fun. That would be like
Right?
like an all day sort of like
Get the
situation.
whiteboards out.
Oh, yeah.
We're brainstorming how to do it.
That would be such a situation.
But it's I would absolutely
we would
love
be
it.
like spending the night here. but
I'm
we would
so
be like,
in
what?
for it. But you just opened up this brand new business, and this was not on the bingo card for you, but here you are. So how did you get there? How did you arrive at this space?
I don't know.
Yeah, right?
I literally don't know. I just intuitively would follow whatever. Sorry, that's like my little woo-ness that's kind of coming out, but I would just like get these like downloads and these like knowings of like my next step and what I needed to do. And when I finally just surrendered to like that state of flow, the synchronicities that happened were absolutely beautiful. The people that I was introduced to, like literally you would not believe. Like everybody that I'm working with was all someone that was just like, boop, put on my plate. Like that I would never have met in any normal situation other than I can attribute to just surrendering and allowing the universe to provide.
So that is not our nature as moms, where we need to be in control. And I can't imagine what nurse practitioner, Dr. Dina Ben David is like. I'm just going to surrender to the universe right now. I do not see that in your personality, knowing you for the brief amount of time that I've known you.
Yeah, you had me pegged.
It's freeing though.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like I have no choice. I need to listen to this. I need to
But
listen to
it's
my body and my
cool,
brain.
Stephanie, like when you do that though, like it gives you that permission, because of course we talked about this earlier, like the society we're in as moms and just this crazy, the expectations that are put on us when you finally do just like kind of like let go of some of that control.
Yeah.
And you start to see how things actually do work out.
Yeah.
If you truly fully embody that sort of idea of surrendering, it's like just getting those like little sort of synchronicities. It's like just universe speaking to you, God speaking to you, being like, okay, you're doing everything right. Like you're exactly where you need to be. You're doing exactly.
It's a scary space.
It is.
So you heard it, you're opening it. When you were designing this practice, what was the most important thing for you to have?
The most important thing to have was root cause approach.
Can we talk about root cause?
Yeah, totally. So in symptoms that people are presenting with, right? If it's just like emotional, like dysregulation or depression or just anxiety or like attention deficit stuff. And I'm not a label person at all.
Isn't that funny? Because our younger children, my younger children per se, are the labelers. They love being like, oh, I have this, I have this, I have this, and that's why I'm this. Like they've self-diagnosed themselves, whether they watch TikTok or whatever, they have self-diagnosed and know their problems, and I'm dumb because I don't recognize that label.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Is recognizing that labels are just like kind of almost extinguishing the whole idea of the whole notion of labels.
Yeah.
And just like embracing like, okay, so you're feeling like this, let's dive deep and figure out why.
Okay.
Instead of saying like, okay, this is what it is. This is the label. This is the med, or this is one of the meds that.
Because then there's a reason.
Yeah. And there's many sort of facets of reason. So things can be like environmentally caused, right? So like, not to get like super deep in like the science of it, but just so you guys have like an understanding of like what I'm talking about when I say like environmental stuff. Like we have like our whole genes, our whole genetic system that we're born with, right? And some genes are turned on, some genes are turned off, and exposure to different things in our environment, right?
Kicks that up.
Can kick one gene on. So a gene that maybe would predispose you to having a whole array of different mental health diagnoses, or even if you're getting like talking physical medicine, cancers or diabetes or any of these number of different chronic diseases, autoimmune stuff, like the list goes on. If you're exposing yourself to any of these types of things, and the list is very, very long, for example, the red dye 40, right?
Yeah.
Like there's, and some could be like you're rabbit holing down this whole thing, but it's, this is all scientific.
It's real.
It's science-based.
Good morning,
like
Serafina.
it is very much like this is well-studied information. These are things that have been overlooked in this country for far too long.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's one of the wonderful things about functional medicine is that we are looking at all of these things that other areas aren't looking at. So yeah, so exposure to different things that we're eating, lifestyle, excuse me, a whole array of different things we kind of look at. Then we run very intense labs, most of which you've probably never even heard of before, because again, your traditional Western doctors haven't even heard of them, but we do hair, urine, stool tests, blood tests, of course, checking for a whole array of different things to determine where the imbalances are. Because it can be like a gut dysbiosis or some sort of imbalance happening in your gut. So your gut is your second brain.
I feel like we don't even try and discuss or look for any of this stuff until we're desperate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we wait until we're so desperately ill that we're like something else has to give. Then we start discussing these other treatments instead of something that probably when you were feeling a little bit bad could have been treated with something pretty easy.
100%. But the great news, and yes, of course. And then again, that just goes back to the system that we live in. Why am I going to do this? And you know, if this is like an out of network sort of thing, when I'm just going to go to my doctor and just go there. But still, so the great news is everything is we can heal.
Yeah.
Lots of things.
I know we're pretty incredible things.
Yeah.
we are.
So it's pretty amazing. So that was to kind of answer your question that you asked 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, right.
I was like going in
root
circles
cause.
on.
We were talking root
Yes.
cause.
So that was the most important thing. Hormonal imbalances, especially for men and women, even as upper teens, lower 20s, up through, you know, post-menopause.
Yeah, it's something that always changes, right? As your body grows and changes and ages and whatever, it's always a different situation.
Exactly. So just sort of really taking a fine-tooth comb and looking at all of these things.
Pain in the ass is what it is.
It's not,
Sorry.
No, it is a pain in the ass, actually.
It's like a weird balancing chemistry experiment.
And you know, the testosterone levels, for example, and testosterone, people just automatically think men know women need it too. We just need it at much less amounts.
Yeah.
But our bodies need it as well. About like 8 to 10% of what men need, but it's still vital in our kind of human
But it's not
condition.
typically something that you even talk about until you're 40.
No.
It's not.
Exactly. But something like
And it's
that.
stuff nobody talks about. We're talking about it now.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I've never heard so much about perimenopause and menopause in my entire life
I know.
than we've heard over the last 5 years.
It's amazing.
It is
makes me
good,
really
though.
happy. I think there was like a Netflix show I just heard that was being
I'm not surprised.
something that was like getting, I'm like, oh, that's so great. People
I
are, like,
know.
opening their eyes to all this.
But it's finally a dialogue. It's finally a discussion. It's finally like, okay, we're sick of this.
Yeah.
This is why. Like, we're so uncomfortable that we're going to talk about it now,
Or
which
you're
is
not
nice.
just getting pat in the back and be like, it's okay, Stephanie.
Yeah,
You'll be fine.
right?
Just a few more, you got a few more years of this, just like, you know.
Suck it up.
Yep.
35 to 60, you're good. No big deal. You've dealt with a period your whole life. What's the difference?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Sorry,
yes.
guys.
All of this.
Didn't mean to turn it all around about me, but
no, it's all good. And it's
It's
true.
a good
And
conversation to
every
have.
Women relates to this.
Yeah.
For sure.
We're talking to Dr. Dina Ben David. She's got a new practice, the Still Center in Sandwich. And we're talking about some of her treatments. And we started with root cause. And this is kind of the thing that you are the most proud of, the thing that you think is really where people should start.
Yeah. So the way that we practice is, so we're not like a one-off, like you come in and we kind of like do an assessment or do an intake on you and kind of figure out what's going on. And then you kind of come in periodically. I develop like an actual I kind of look at it like a concierge intensive outpatient program that is functional minded. So in other words, like it is a commitment and we I figured with all of my sort of research and knowing sort of what works, what doesn't work, and, you know, looking at the broken systems and working at the systems that work, is it really does take that commitment and that level of sort of time, I guess, to really elicit the true change and true healing.
I feel like that's the true challenge is we want quick fixes.
Yes.
We want to be well tomorrow. And it is a lot of work. And it is sometimes adds up in the cost department. So you need to have people that are really ready to make a difference in their life.
Yeah. And so when the way that our thing is set up is you'll actually meet with the nurse and the practice coordinator, Linnea, who's amazing. You will all love her. But so anyone that's interested will actually have an introductory call with her.
Okay.
And she'll just review sort of the innards of everything and kind of how we are, just to make sure like we're a good fit for you, because some people might be really interested and like intrigued and be like, this might be like something good, but maybe not quite there yet to maybe make those changes, or maybe they're just for whatever reason, and no judgment. Like we're all in different spaces and kind of seasons of life. And so but we also want we want to set you up for success. So we want you to know like 100% like what you're in for, like what the expectations are. You're going to likely be coming in to see us about 4 times a week. Now it's not like an all day. It's a lot, but it's not like you're going to be there all day. But I mean, you're going to commit an hour or 2 for those 4 days. We try to be flexible with timing, and some of them can be remote and telehealth depending on what it is. But I mean, it is definitely a commitment, and it's going to be for probably 3 months, give or take, depending on the patient. But yeah, it's definitely a commitment. So if someone is at the space where they're like tried everything and they're just like, no, this something's got to give. And they're ready to just put their hands up and be like, we're going to do this and we're going to make this happen, then we're for you. If someone's like kind of like interested, we're still welcome an introductory call just for you to learn more about us. And kind of figure out maybe when you might be ready to make the change. And then there might be people that are just like really like, not for me. And that's totally cool too.
Talk about some of the things that you're doing with some trauma healing.
So we do a lot. And so there's so many different modalities that, and some of which are kind of, I don't even want to say like discussed in the traditional medical models of education, but they're mentioned, and that's about all we get. So everything of that,
like we know about it, but you don't really know about it.
By the way, there's like a paragraph in like this big massive textbook, and it's like, oh, there's this thing. And then anyway, so like, let's move on. It's insane. But anyhow, all of these things are things that we, like we talked about, they're not discussed or taught in traditional training. So, we had to go get all this learning and certifications and everything after the fact, but EMDR is a big one. So eye movement desensitization and reprocessing.
What is that?
That's a mouthful. I know. Sometimes I even forget what it stands for.
What does that mean?
But it's incredible. It actually was, it's a therapy that was designed and created by Francine Shapiro, which was a very famous psychologist back in the 70s. And she's just sort of, and she's passed away now several years, but it's fascinating because she was one of like, kind of like the real, and I love her because she's a female too. So like power to her, especially in a time where like women weren't in the forefront of medicine and psychiatry.
We were always there. We just weren't talked about.
100%. So so she was amazing, but she really kind of paved the way for trauma healing and looking at the nervous system in ways that your body holds on to these traumas. Cause that's what we found in just research is that it's not woo-woo, it's not hokey, it's not all these things where you're feeling like, oh my God, you're like holding and protecting yourself. It's because your body, your nervous system is literally held on to traumas that you have encountered since birth, truly. Even those things that you may not have even remembered, the pre-verbal memories. And there's a whole array of science and studies and research that have proven that just the validity of that, even though it's hard to like conceptualize because it's like we can't see it. But there's plenty of research out there that has proven that is definitely the fact in many theories and different sort of modalities and things that actually address all of these things. So EMDR is a way that we can actually reprocess stored trauma. So again, stored trauma stored anywhere in our body, our nervous system. And what happens is and I'm going to kind of go back real quick just to explain the word trauma, because a lot of folks they kind of correlate when they hear the word trauma, they correlate it with something very serious. Like,
like a fall.
Like they've witnessed some crazy, event or, some sort of abuse, like significant abuse, or they've been, in the war, those types of things. But that's what we consider in the psychiatry world a big T. There's also little t's, not to say one's bigger and more important and
one's littler, they actually have the same impact.
Right. But one we dismiss for whatever
Correct.
reason because it's not big enough. We're like,
100%.
it's not a big deal. Suck it
Yeah,
out, buttercup.
Exactly. So those little T's are things like more like attachment wounds, even something as simple as someone just as they were younger, just didn't feel like they had a voice, didn't feel heard, felt dismissed all the time. Those things culminate over time and develop traumas.
Yeah. No, Lauren said, I need capital need to tackle this.
Yes, Lauren, yes. And we would be happy.
Welcome to the Healing Circle here on a Friday.
And I'm sending so much love to you because it's so true. And so many people are struggling with this. And this is just not something that is talked about.
Yeah.
And it has to be. We have to open this up and start to really make people aware that this is actually a thing. You're not crazy.
Yeah.
And we all, by the way, capital ALL have trauma.
Yeah.
Every single, no one is immune. We all have it, some greater or lesser degrees, but we all have it. Some people have functional trauma where like they're able to kind of just navigate their way and work through life, but it's still there. Some people struggle a little bit more depending on their life circumstances, their support system, etc.
Yep.
But we all have trauma.
Yeah.
And so just so you know, like it is part of the human experience. But we can heal it.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing thing.
To be fair, a lot of people, your sensitivity levels, what a trauma to you is not a trauma to me. And I think that we decide, I don't know who's the we, decide that this is worse. We categorize things.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why we do it.
It's girl. That's a whole.
It's like, why do we do this?
That's a whole nother conversation. Or just like being told, like, I feel a certain way, right? It's like, oh, why do you feel that way? You're fine. You're fine.
Right,
It's like,
the gaslighting.
stop
It's real.
dismissing. Because what does that do? What does that tell, like, little Stephanie?
Yeah.
Little girl at 3 or 5 or 6 years old, whatever, like your like inner child.
Yeah.
Like, what is that telling your inner child? It's that my feelings aren't worthy and I just need to shut up and keep my mouth closed. And like, basically I'm nuts for feeling and thinking these things.
Yeah.
And those thoughts over time is what creates the trauma. It's what creates that response in us.
See, everybody needs Dina in their lives.
Yeah.
we do.
Or somebody like me that looks at the world.
For sure.
And just in treating patients this way. It's time.
So we've got root cause. We're talking trauma healing. What
EMDR,
else?
yes.
Yeah.
So we're going back to the other.
That's
question.
okay.
Sorry, here we
We're
go
back.
on all these.
I'm bringing it back. I give myself little notes to tether myself to real life.
So EMDR is the trauma. So our bodies store all these traumas since we were,
Lauren. And then there's the trauma on top of realizing you're on the spectrum.
Yeah, girl.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's also your.
And she says she smokes weed and carries on. Like there are people, we've found ways of coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
Some are great, some are not.
Yeah.
Some are just functional.
Yeah. And also just about that spectrum, like that, you're superpower, girl. Like literally your freaking superpower.
She is.
ADHD, superpower. Like honestly. So like, let's stop looking at these labels in a negative way. Stop labeling altogether. That's a whole nother thing. But like literally like these are superpowers and like, these are parts. So there's a sort of a concept in philosophy in modern psychology called internal family systems or IFS that was developed by Dr. Dick Schwartz. He's another big guru in this industry. He's fascinating, but we have different parts to kind of what composes our, what they call the capital S self, like who we are at the core. And so we have these protectors, right?
Yep.
We have these exiles. We have these different parts to us that we have these managers, there's 3 different parts, and they basically come out to protect us. So sometimes they're associated with like what one might look at negative coping mechanisms.
Yep.
Right. But those are just your managers at play. Those are just your managers that are trying to get to help you survive.
Yeah.
So it's like looking at all these different parts, honoring them because damn, they might be kind of wreaking some havoc right now, but they got you through.
Yeah.
And so it's just taking a moment to be like in sort of like a sacred
What is that
space.
Disney movie with all the emotions? It's literally real.
Yeah. No, and it is. And I love.
It's real.
What's the name of the movie?
I don't
though?
know. I can't remember
It's
it.
Completely.
Drop it in the chat. I can't remember what it is. If you know what it is.
What is it? Oh my God. I have 2 kids. That's pathetic. I can't remember.
Danielle, same Lauren, just joining the conversation this morning. Level 1 and ADHD took 39 years to explain why I was so naive and got myself into a space where I didn't. He's like, Self-Care Friday. What's up, Robert? Thanks for joining us. We're here with Dr. Dina Ben David, and we were talking about all of these things. But yeah, what is the name of that movie? I can't remember what it was.
Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Yes.
Look at her. She got it. So we do.
Divine
We've got all these
download.
little managers inside doing the best that we can, putting Band-Aids on all of these things.
And the first part in the healing process, and this is the part that starts to go a little bit deep, but is literally taking a moment and really piecing all of those parts, as we call them, apart and honoring them.
Yeah.
Not trying to like push them away and just be like, no, but really honoring them and thanking them for what they've done to help protect you.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what they have tried to do is protect you and get you through.
Yeah.
And to help you survive. But now when you know better, who said this, Maya Angelou, when you know better, you do better. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now we know better. And so like, let's take a moment, honor them, and just say, you know what? Thank you so much for everything you've done. I've got this now.
Yeah.
And obviously that's the whole process and the therapeutic process and kind of doing that. But just to kind of give you guys an idea of like, this is the innards of like doing this like really deep healing work.
Yeah. It was probably not until I want to say about 25, 26, where I realized I had a choice in any of this. For whatever reason, we had a traumatic event that happened, and I finally was like, "Oh, wait a minute! I do have a choice. I have a choice in this. I don't just listen blind." I was in the military. Listen, I was deeply, deeply programmed to just follow the system. I was.
Yeah.
It was just the way it was. Right, left. We'll get through this together. And it wasn't until I experienced something like that where I realized I had a choice, and then the questioning began, and that has never stopped. It's in fact gotten way worse. And I've become the but why girl. And I'm loving this conversation right now because this is deep diving into all the things we didn't realize, but now we know better. And we're having this conversation here on a Friday.
Yeah.
Welcome to it, everybody.
Yes. So I'm going back again for the 14th time.
Yes.
To the
We'll get
EMDR. So it basically is a way that, so we're looking at all of these deep things and this is a process. This is just like you come in and we start the EMDR process. There's a lot of kind of history taking and assessment and really getting on paper a lot of what traumas you've endured.
Yeah.
And getting you in the mental space where we can actually kind of go in, kind of bring that out and actually reprocess it. Because what happens in trauma is those memories get stuck. And when I say memories, some of these memories you may not even recall, but they're still there in your body.
Okay.
Like you subconsciously have them. You just may not be aware of them.
We filed them away.
You filed them away, but they haven't been processed. They're in like fragments. And so in the EMDR process, we're bringing these memories up. And sometimes it's fascinating than when I'm doing the EMDR on a patient, they may have sometimes pre-verbal memories. So memories before that they even could talk, or memories that they literally like afterwards will talk about, like they don't even know where it came from. They don't remember it. And things come up because it's part of the process. So we're using bilateral stimulation. So it could be using like these toppers or vibrators that are on both hands.
Okay.
And different eye movements. We can use different like lights. We can there's various different ways that we can elicit the bilateral stimulation, but it allows us to bring this memory up and allow your body to innately heal, which is by reprocessing the memory. And it's a whole process. So sometimes we can successfully reprocess an awful memory in one session. Sometimes it takes many sessions.
Okay. So this is why it depends on you.
So it's definitely not a one and done, but I mean, it is so powerful. And to see the changes.
Seems a little scary to me. What do you say to someone that seems like, I don't know if I even want this?
Yeah. So there's a lot of prep work that goes into this because it's almost like we're not hypnotizing you in the sense of it's not that. Yeah. But like you're definitely in a state where you are kind of surrendering, I guess, and allowing things to come up. And that's the beautiful thing. That's how it works. Yeah. But what I always remind patients is that you are here with me. You're in my office. You're safe. Like you'll hear me say that throughout the process. If I'm noticing any anxiety come up and things like that, most people actually deal with it really, really well. Though.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Sometimes we experience something called blocking for people that are like, feel a little bit more controlling and kind of difficult kind of.
I don't know anything about that.
Neither do I. Me neither, Stephanie. No idea.
I feel exposed. Because I feel like I am not a sensitive. I have a few of my children that are very, very sensitive to things, and I don't understand. I don't process it. I allow. Obviously, I'm like, whatever. That's how you feel. I don't I don't see it that way,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with not seeing it that way, but I do tend to not be dismissive of it, but I'm definitely a person that I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm a psychopath in that space where I'm like, oh, I should feel bad about that. I don't know why I don't feel bad about that.
Well, that
And
could have been
might just
some of
be
your
me.
programming. though,
Maybe.
you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a whole nother show, Dina.
I mean, that's one of your protectors.
Yeah,
coming out.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's so I definitely know I would be a difficult nut to crack. And then I don't know if I want to know what would happen after that. That would be bad, I think.
Those are the most transformative, though.
I feel like I'm in danger. Greg, I'm a sensitive. You are definitely not a sensitive. Are you kidding me? RTB, are you both familiar with Raquel, the capacity expert on Instagram? I like her interpretation or certain terms.
Ooh.
I'm not. You have to send her some information. Send it to me, RTB. I
Yeah,
want to see
I am
it.
not familiar, but I feel like I need to be. It
Aw.
sounds interesting. Would love to know.
Lauren, thank you very much. And Emily, good morning. Hello. How are you dealing with motherhood right now? She has 2 children under 2.
Wow. Wow.
She's in the thick of it.
Girl.
And her maternity leave is about to be up in, less than a month. Are you coming back to work? Let me know.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Because that could go 2 ways. It could be like, thank freaking God
I know.
that like I have a place where I can be like not mom for a minute.
Yeah.
And then there's also obviously the other side that's like, well,
Well, I'm letting her steer the ship right now. She wanted to come back and she's like, I can help in this and that. And then I was like, you deal with you.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
yourself the time to do so.
Mm.
And it's okay. We'll find more people. You will not be left behind. We'll find a capacity in which to find a space for you.
So she works with you.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's
cool.
my office manager.
Oh, so you're hurting.
This is why my desktop looks like this. This is why I'm also a little bit crazy right now.
You guys can't see Stephanie's computer, but there's literally 114 windows open. I did count them. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
Gina's like, I know you now. It's exposed. It's fine. I know my superpowers, and that ain't it. It's just not where I thrive. It's not. We're talking to Dina Ben David. She just opened this fabulous new practice literally on Wednesday. Here we are 2 days into work, and she's here talking on the show with me when she should be working. It's fine. Merchant Square in Sandwich. And I definitely suggest that you get to thisstillcenter.org and see all of the modalities of healing she has. And you're working with a bunch of other people as well.
yeah, I'm again, those women, again, it's just completely serendipitous way in which I met them all. There's another integrative mental health nurse practitioner working with me who's amazing. She wears many hats in that she's also a Reiki master. So she brings some energy work into
I have a tough time
when
with Reiki.
necessary. And the thing is like, I like to, and I'm glad you mentioned this because a lot of the things resonate. Like we meet every person where they are. Like some things resonate with certain people and some things don't. And that's totally cool. And that's the beauty of having like a very wide sort of range of offerings. And that's the importance of also having a really thorough intake process that we do. Like we'll spend 2 or 3 hours just in the very first visit with them to really establish a rapport and a relationship and understand like where is somebody in their process, because maybe someone is like, oh, what the hell is Reiki? Like I'm not interested. And that's cool.
I've had a real experience where I actually felt like it worked for me in this space. And real.
Yeah.
My girlfriend Melissa was like, I had this like back thing and I was like experiencing trauma or whatever. And she's like doing all this stuff. And even over the phone, she like sent me something. And I was like, for whatever reason, I felt it was real.
Yeah.
And my husband thinks it's like ridiculous.
Oh yeah. He's probably like,
no, he's like, seriously, Stephanie, he's like, I just wanted a clinical massage. And she's over there like chanting over me and blowing on me. It's like, I can't.
I love this so hard.
So it's like, we all experience these different ways of healing. So, I mean, I totally understand when you're like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
But for the people it is for, I truly believe I've been touched by it. So I know it works.
Yeah.
But it's not for everyone.
Yeah. But also if you're in this space of like, of a non sort of, you're like resistive or you're just a non-believer or whatever, which again, totally cool. No judgment. We've all been at we've all been at these spaces, right? It's also not it's not going to be effective if you don't allow it in to help you. So it's fine. So Laura, again, integrative, Reiki master. She's a guru in somatic experiencing, which is a part of kind of
What's this?
Yeah, I know. There's so many things. So that is a whole kind of branch of this more modern psychology and understanding that your body holds trauma, kind of like we just said, but it's a way to help kind of process through some of these traumas in wherever it is in your body. So this was something that was created. The theory was created by Peter Levine, another guru in this space. And the whole somatic work, that is her jam. She knows how to work with your body and kind of help really get things released wherever it is stored in your somatic system in your body. So she's amazing. So she's highly involved in all the plans of care with patients. We also have an incredible expressive arts practitioner. It's so important. And because it's one thing to like talk about things and like kind of have this whole process of dialogue, but there's another thing of like expressing it in a more creative way. Yeah. And that's why we have Jocelyn. She is fabulous. So she was also a dance instructor. She does a lot of like art therapy stuff, sand tray therapy. I think it's so important that we're talking about this because the traditional modality of therapy is you go, you sit on a couch, you dump out all your woes, and then you leave. When you don't realize that you actually have to like move your body to release things. Yeah, 100%. It's like you're starting the process. That's cool. Like everyone needs that ear and that safe space to like let things out and like talk, but like there's so much more. Yeah. Not to like not talk therapy. I mean, there's obviously a place for it, but there's so much more when you're actually trying to heal. I'm
so lucky in my space that I had RTB. I will give you so much credit because you definitely have been that friend of mine that has explored other options of conversation or moving. Like I would not be where I am right now. I feel like in my healing of all of my stuff if it wasn't for this one particular friend who kind of just listens to me clinically sometimes. He's not a judger, but he is a judger. But it's good sometimes it's that tough conversation that I need to be like, okay, that is something that I need to work on, or that is something that I need to explore more about how I feel. And that's why I love what your practice is doing right now for people, because it is that you've got these arms, these little octopus arms to be like, okay, maybe you need a little of this today. Or you need a little of this to get this out. It's great.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, kind of like you were saying, it's just like this conscious curiosity of like, okay, so you have your RTB. Yeah. Like, and also like, love you, like love that you're there for her. Like amazing. But yeah, like we need that we need someone like that in our life that can kind of like bring this into our awareness and us to get curious about it. That's how it starts. Right. And then you just kind of move in that direction with the support of, people that can help. And that's how the healing
But not everybody has that person that just walks into their life and is like, we're going to be friends and I'm going to fix you. Yes. Lauren, you are also another one of those people that has come into my life that has brought the arts into my life. She's an amazing artist. So and it was just kind of a business group that developed into a big therapy squad.
I love this. Can I join?
Totally. Absolutely. It just, for whatever reason, we found the humans in this group that are healing humans, and we all sort of shared our talents together because we were alone building a business together. And that is sometimes a very lonely space to be in.
Preaching to the choir.
Well, I mean, you just built this business and added all of your humans to it. So you did that without doing that. We had to do it piecemeal and in a different space because we're not in mental health.
But I love that. You have found your community, because that's one of the pillars of sort of how there's five pillars to how we practice, and that connection. That's one of the most, they're all equally important, but that's such an important piece of it. Yeah. Is having that sort of soul connection, having that ability to really have like those supportive people in your corner. Yeah. And like you said, not everyone has that. No. It's unfortunate.
I think that the Cape is really lucky in the space that we have tons of artists. We are open to different ways of doing things. And I keep playing there's more than one way to skin a cat situation in the back of my brain, but we all do things differently. And I think it's great that you're finally having that conversation, exploring what people need differently. Talk to me a little bit about some of the other treatments that you do, because some of them are a little kooky or scary to people.
Yeah. So we also have an amazing breathwork, conscious connected breathwork practitioner, Adasha. She's fascinating. Love her so dearly. She's also a Reiki practitioner as well. But if you're not unfamiliar, breathwork, and there's different sort of kind of realms of breath work. So you can be doing more of like just sort of traditional yogic practices.
Yep.
Like, and I'm going to probably pronounce this wrong. So all you yogis out there, do not judge.
We're new here.
Pranayama, I think it's called that, but just different ways that you can kind of help kind of calm and soothe your nervous system to kind of help just regulate your emotions in the moment. So those are, and just kind of like over time to doing those things. So those are some of the more kind of common ones that people are able to relate to. But then there's something called conscious connected breathing that is a form of basically release. Yep. So we elicit what Adasha does in this conscious connected breath work within some of our therapy sessions to actually kind of bring up some of what's going on, and that helps release.
I watched a demonstration. I hosted Pilates with a Purpose in the Mashpee Commons a few months ago when it was Suicide Awareness Day. And there was a woman that's had this very powerful conversation about how she was in the throes of addiction, and she leaned into this somatic breathing. And we don't always have to like run away to an ayahuasca retreat somewhere to get all of this. But she, shared her entire story of just like back and forth with addiction over years, and being a mom and being in those spaces, and just this breath work that really was the game changer for her. And I don't know if she just became ready or found this or leaned into it. But it really, she spoke so much of it, and then did a demonstration of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And
I was fascinated. I just sat there silently, which is for me really difficult.
I thank you for sharing that story. That's amazing. And I'm so glad that she found that and that helped her. And this just goes back to everything that we're kind of talking about. Like your body is innately healing itself with the power of breath in this case. But, it requires safe facilitators to help you along in the process. Because one of the things I found with breath work, and this is certainly not knocking anyone that's doing it, because I think you're doing amazing work, but something that's missing in a lot of cases is that integration piece. So integration is like at the end when like things have kind of come up, like a lot of times in the process, you're making certain movements and you're just releasing a lot of that like, pent up energy. But you're kind of like afterwards, it's like the integration, the talking about it, like let's like kind of have this whole process. To allow it to integrate and allow you to kind of like bring things to your awareness that maybe you weren't aware of before. Like that, a lot of times is a missing piece. And so that's what we're bringing to the puzzle. It's basically like breathwork assisted psychotherapy.
I think it's very funny that we're having this conversation, because something just kind of clicked in my brain as to all of my friends that are healers. I feel like every time they're around me, they're like wiping things off of me. They're like, we're gonna wipe that off of you now. I feel like I'm constantly in my day-to-day dredging up all of this BS. And it's that cleansing part, that putting it all together at the very end, because they're always like, and we're getting rid of that.
like,
oh whatever it is, go, thank you.
Have they gifted you like a box of sage or anything yet?
Susan, Melissa, Lisa, thank you all. Every time you see me, Monet, all of you, I appreciate you. I do. I have a tribe, whether I know it or not, of people that are always kind of like quietly in the background watching me. And I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, I love that. We need those people. Yes.
We do. If you're here now, you're here. You're getting it too. I'm sloughing it off of you. You're welcome.
Yes.
RTB said validation and touch love combo. LOL, it's tough. Thank you for joining us all this morning. We've been talking to Dr. Dina Ben David. She's just opened up her fabulous new practice, thestillcenter.org. Check them out. Like them on social media. Give her a little love on the sandwich scoop, because there are some questioners on there about your practice. Before we go, what do you want people to know, and how do people find you for healing?
So I think, the website, our gal, just shout out to Amber, who did an amazing job on our website. She really just brought just my vision to kind of reality, which was fascinating. So lots of really great information on there. We're always happy to hop on a call. You can shoot us an email, whatever, just to get more information. We're pretty responsive. So
I would love for you to come back on the regular.
Yeah.
And then just talk about a topic.
Totally.
And we can have like open office hours to like try and we're healing everybody. But I think, right? Like a monthly segment even, and you can design it any way you want. But I would love to have you on the regular.
And just let the universe
I like that
flow.
too.
That's kind of my jam too.
I'm a fan of this. What is the best way for people to get a hold of you?
I would say we have a form on the website that they can put their information into that gets sent directly to our practice coordinator, who likes to kind of make sure We keep tabs on everyone to make sure that nothing falls in the cracks. So that would probably be the best way. But honestly, any of the ways I mentioned is totally cool.
One thing about your practice that not anybody has, or you don't think anybody has.
A lot. I think just
She's like everything.
I know. I'm trying to like humble myself down a little bit because it's like very, very unique and different as I think
Well,
you guys
when you
have
get like this, building your business, you're like, this is it. I'm not seeing it. And it doesn't mean that somebody doesn't have it. It's just not widely known.
Yeah. I think a big thing about us is, we are licensed medical practitioners first and foremost. So we do have the proper credentials and licensing. And in the beginning of the segment, we talked all about that.
Coaches versus mental health professionals.
Yes.
I think that is a good distinction.
Yeah. So everyone is highly educated, trained. We have all the certificates and all that kind of stuff, which, again, not knocking folks in the realm of being, coaches and doing lots of healing work, because we all have a place in the puzzle. So everyone is beautiful and doing their thing and just making the world better in what they do. So I'm completely honoring all that. But just when you're looking at it from a medical perspective and like things that we can do from that side of things, like utilizing our knowledge in science and in medicine and kind of integrating it more with like the soul sort of healing. That's probably the biggest thing that makes us different, in addition to obviously the list of services.
I love it. Definitely check her out. This won't be the last time that she comes on our show for sure. I'm very much looking forward to having her back already. I can chat with you all day. We're going to talk about Italian stuff.
Oh boy.
Does your family do the Italian cookies for Christmas?
Dude, like which ones?
All of them.
Which ones? I got to tell, what's your favorite?
Anything with like the little pistachio things.
Oh my God. Yes. So pizzelles for me are like, and like, I'm going to just like say it, I'm calling it. Sorry to Nanas. You probably will disagree with me, but my mom's pizzelles are the best.
Well, I'm looking forward to that recipe, miss.
I will share it with you. I will share it.
We have a very busy weekend here at Lemonade.io, and please follow us, like our YouTube channel, subscribe to it. We are working on our 300th episode is happening next week, where we're having our 300th guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You'll just be surprised when it happens. We've got a fun drive coming up in November to work on our music licensing fees, and we love your support. Also, wearing my little Mashpee Chamber of Commerce hat for a second. Tonight is a big show over at the Cape Cod Children's Museum. Lisa's put together Ships and Giggles. It is their fundraiser to make this museum a place where people want to come from all over, a destination museum. And so the chamber has purchased 20 tickets. If you're a chamber member and you want to go laugh your pants off tonight, 6:00, we're doing so absolutely free. So send me an email, info@mashpeechamber.com, and you can go and watch a fun comedy show at the Children's Museum tonight for nothing, $0.
Love this.
I know, right?
Yes.
We all need to get our mental health in somewhere, and sometimes a good laugh does it.
It is
Right?
so healing. Making fun of yourself
Just
in
a
the
good
best
laugh.
of ways.
Exactly.
Yes, and just having fun is amazing.
Our charcuterie girl, Katie, is going to be there, so there'll be plenty of snacks. The bar is going to be flowing. Say goodbye to that ship, because it's actually going away. That pirate ship that's in the middle of the Children's Museum that we love and adore. We need to make room for the second floor of that building. So unfortunately, the pirate ship's going to go. So say goodbye, Ships and Giggles tonight. And if you want to go, once again, info@mashpeechamber.com. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I
My
know.
pleasure.
thestillcenter.org. Get healing yourself today. Happy Friday, everybody. We'll see you later. Thank you very much to Mashpee TV, channel 1072 in HD. If it's not coming in, call 1-800-COMCAST. You need a new box. We'll talk to you.
That was great.